Imagine this. It's a sunny July morning in 2014, and the bustling Varna airport in Bulgaria is already packed with tourists heading home from their summer vacations. People laugh, sip coffee, check their boarding passes, and then chaos. A young man bursts through the airport terminal doors, sprinting barefoot. He's visibly terrified. His eyes dart around, panicked. He shouts something, unintelligible, but full of desperation. He runs past check-in counters, through the parking lot, and into the trees beyond the fence. No one ever sees him again. His name is Lars Mittank, and his disappearance is one of the strangest and most chilling mysteries Europe has ever seen. This isn't just a missing persons case. It's a spiral into paranoia, surveillance, and fear, and it ends in silence. This is the story of Lars Mittank, the man who ran for his life and vanished. It all began like any other vacation. 28-year-old Lars Mittank was on a summer holiday with his friends in Golden Sands, Bulgaria, a seaside resort popular with young travelers. Lars wasn't a thrill-seeker or partier. He was a quiet guy from Itzehoe, Germany, working at a power plant, a big football fan, especially of Werder Bremen. To those who knew him, Lars was calm, kind, and a little reserved, but nothing out of the ordinary. He and his friends spent their time swimming, relaxing, and enjoying the nightlife. Nothing unusual. That is, until July 6th. That night, Lars got into a scuffle over football. A group of rival fans, reportedly supporting Bayern Munich, allegedly attacked him outside a bar. It wasn't a massive brawl, but Lars took a hit to the head. The next day, he complained of ear pain. Lars visited a local doctor, who diagnosed him with a ruptured eardrum. It wasn't life-threatening, but it was serious enough for concern. The doctor prescribed him an antibiotic called cefuroxime, a standard drug, but one with rare psychological side effects in some people, including hallucinations and paranoia. That same doctor also told Lars he shouldn't fly for a few days due to the pressure change affecting his ear. His friends were scheduled to fly back to Germany on July 7th, so Lars made a choice that would change everything. He told his friends to go home without him. He'd stay behind, rest, and take a later flight. It sounded reasonable. But from that moment on, Lars's behavior began to spiral. Lars checked into a budget hotel called Hotel Color near the Varna airport. It was a quiet area, definitely not a tourist hub. What happened over the next 24 hours is still debated, but here's what we know. Lars called his mother. The voice on the other end wasn't her usual son. He sounded anxious, uneasy. He whispered to her that he was in danger, that he was being followed, that people were trying to kill him. He told her to cancel his credit cards immediately. And then he said something truly bizarre. "I'm hiding. I don't want to die here." Who was after him? Had the attack the night before shaken him that badly? Or was something else going on? His mother, understandably terrified, began trying to help from afar. The last known footage of Lars Mittank is what turned his case into a viral internet obsession. On July 8th, just 2 days after the fight, and 1 day after checking into the hotel, Lars went to Varna airport, ready to fly home. But instead of boarding the plane, he visited the airport doctor. He told the physician he was still in pain. The doctor reportedly agreed. But then, something strange happened. While in the clinic, a construction worker walked in. That's all it took. Lars's demeanor instantly shifted. He stood up suddenly and said, "I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here." Then he bolted out of the room. Security cameras picked him up seconds later, barefoot, sprinting through the terminal like he was fleeing something no one else could see. He ran out the front doors, across the parking lot, and toward a fence at the edge of the airport grounds. Then, he disappeared into a nearby forest. That was the last confirmed sighting of Lars Mittank. He was never seen again. From the moment Lars ran into those woods, theories exploded. Some believed he had a psychotic break, possibly triggered by the antibiotic cefuroxime, which can cause paranoia, agitation, even psychosis in rare cases. Others think he may have had a concussion or a traumatic brain injury from the fight, something that wasn't caught by doctors but began affecting his mind afterward. But there are more sinister theories too. Was Lars being followed? Had he seen something he wasn't supposed to? Was he attacked by someone after separating from his friends? It's hard to ignore how genuinely terrified he looked in that airport footage. That wasn't a man acting erratic. That was a man running for his life. So, was someone chasing him? Online communities latched onto the case, especially Reddit and YouTube. Amateur sleuths began dissecting the airport footage frame by frame. Some noticed that Lars had left his phone behind at the hotel. Why would someone who thought they were being followed get rid of the one device that could contact help? Was he trying to disappear? Or was he hiding from someone who could track him? One of the eeriest details came from his hotel stay. Staff reported that Lars barely slept. He'd pace the halls, open and close doors, peek out the windows as if expecting someone. He left the hotel at one point during the night and vanished for hours, before returning quietly just before sunrise. What was he doing? Who was he meeting? We don't know. Search teams combed the forest outside the airport for weeks. Drones, dogs, police, volunteers. Not a single trace of Lars was found. No clothes, no body, no belongings. Nothing. Years passed. His case became one of the most high-profile missing person stories in Europe. In 2019, police even created an age progression photo of what Lars might look like years later. It sparked a wave of new leads, but none led anywhere concrete. His mother, Lars Mittank, continues to search. She has appeared in interviews, documentaries, and news specials, always asking the same heartbreaking question: where is my son? What happened to him in those final moments? There's something particularly chilling about Lars Mittank's case. It's not just that he vanished, it's how suddenly and how violently his world seemed to unravel. In a matter of days, he went from a happy, healthy tourist to a man whispering into the phone, terrified for his life, and then sprinting barefoot into the unknown. It raises impossible questions. Could all of this truly be explained by a medical reaction or psychological breakdown? Or was there something darker, something we'll never see on the security cameras, something that only Lars knew? To this day, the case of Lars Mittank remains open. Posters still hang in airports, online forums still speculate, his name still trends whenever the footage resurfaces. Because that video, it's unforgettable. It shows something we rarely witness so plainly: pure human fear, not staged, not acted, real. And it stays with you. What did he see? What was he running from? And perhaps the most disturbing question of all: how can someone vanish right in front of us and never be found? Some disappearances leave behind footprints, a trail of breadcrumbs, a path that leads somewhere. Lars Mittank left behind only questions. No goodbyes, no notes, no explanations. Just a sprint into the trees and silence. Maybe one day we'll have answers. Maybe someone, somewhere, knows the truth. Until then, his story lingers like an unfinished sentence, a haunting mystery that echoes through the forest outside Varna airport. A man who ran for his life and never came back. If you know anything about the disappearance of Lars Mittank, contact your local authorities. And if you found this story chilling, subscribe for more true crime and unsolved mysteries. Thanks for watching.